Good morning. Well, good morning anywhere where you are. My brothers asked me how I wrapped my iron board. I still need to do it for theirs. Hello, message. And I thought I'd make a little tutorial for whoever wants to do a similar style that's not, I would say that's not very common. My friends all laugh at me because I wrap my iron board like this. I'm very particular about my iron board because I do like ironing quite a lot. And I think if I do it on an iron board or with a surface that's not so soft and I don't know, for example, the metal there, if this is not thick enough, you can actually see it through your through the ironing, and then all your clothes have like this little diamond shape and everything, and that's not fun. This person doesn't. I don't think this person is going to stop, so I'll just do this. Silent. So in any case, I felt it was time to upgrade my my iron board cover, purely because I also use it as a desk. I have a little studio, so for me space is a little bit constrained, and I don't like to have too much of everything everywhere, so this has become my desk as well as my iron board and what have you. And yeah, about last month I kind of spilled a cup of coffee on here. Not a good idea. I do have a tablecloth for it. That sounds weird, but yes, I mean, when I'm sitting in front of my computer, I'm not going to put my tablecloth out every time. So, any case, and the little things are coming out. So I'm pretty much going to keep this one on, and then the next one will just be built up on it to give that extra squishy feeling. This, like, if I feel it, I can basically feel like this part is more softer than this one, because obviously I sit like this when I'm at the computer, and this space is used quite a lot when you iron. So what I'll use is basically one of these mattress needles, because obviously you're going to have to curve into the little thing. Just normal thread. I use black because, well, the previous time I used blue, but I'm going to use black now because I'm using the same color as this. Obviously you're going to need your scissors, and then I just bought this iron board cover, long lasting and premium blend of highly resistant. Anyway, it was one of the cheapies. And it's meant that you just put it on and you like tie it up, but for me that doesn't really work. It's like you tie it and then it's like, I can still lift it off. And then that's just frustrating for me to use while I'm doing that. Anyway, so let me just move this and I'll fast forward. Little bit of needles. Ooh, I forgot something. Fitting it nicely. Oh, there we go. Let's try this way. Nope. Back to old position. That's better. A little awkward with the neck, but it's okay. Just having a nice time watching series. Another piece of thread. Threading takes long. And then comes the sides. Oh, really paying attention to that series. No, not yet. There we go. Look at those eyeballs, eyeballing that series. Another piece of thread. Hey, I'm not really flexible. Working harder every day.
Ooh, the back part actually looks pretty good. Yay. I think at this part I was scared a little bit that I really hope I got everything. Yep, I've got everything straightening out. Yay! It's not gonna make like funny creases in the middle of it. Another piece of thread. It's funny, every time I thread needles, I'm in a different position threading them. It's like I just don't have a comfortable threading position. And here's the scrunching up parts. So many. Oh, I'm so glad I had the old ones to actually work with here. Yay. So just tie. I'm not going to be this lucky next time.
Few tricky parts was the fact that obviously just a single string is not going to be strong enough, so you have to like at least make it minimum 6 strings, so, or 6 threads, so it's like a third when you turn it in, and then of course with multiple ones you won't be able to just thread it, so you have to use one of these ones and one of these ones once inside the needle. So it's easy to basically thread it. I'm just doing it roughly there because obviously this one is now finished. I think I had a little bit easier because I already have done this before, so I just basically laid another foundation on. Obviously, if this is your first time you're doing it, it is a little bit of a different ball game. The first time I put something on, so this is about its 3rd or 4th layer. The first time was just like it had this one on when I bought it. I put on a towel and then I worked. I put on a towel and I believe it was another one or just the towel. And I basically put the thread into the steel. So if you look underneath my board, I've already set it up back into computer station. If you look on the back of the board, you'll see there's threads going into the metal, and actually this is just a single layer. Yeah, I didn't double layer it, so I believe I did this one and then I put another one on that was then basically maneuvered into the towel. No. Yeah, it was just a smaller version. It was a plain grey one. Put the towel on that one, and that was basically my first big layer. I used this for a few months, like with the sides in, because you don't really, I mean, when you iron, you're not really using this part too much. You focusing your attention in the middle. So yeah, obviously, as you could see, I started from the side and then I worked my way around. So this was obviously where it would have started going in. Now the beginning is fairly easy because you just basically sew it on. This cover it feels like it's a little too small for the actual board, even if it didn't have the previous layers on. But luckily I had the other one as a guide, so yeah, I just worked onto the same like thread line. However, when you do for the first time, you can actually use the string that comes with, like on my first one, I did use this string and I actually did tie it up. It was tied like all around and everything, but with the second time I was like, well, I can see obviously I have my foundation, I just work on that one. So yeah, it's once you get to that side, you have to start pulling a little bit in order for you to get the fabric like tightened up, and it does feel like you're going not you're not really doing it right, because it does feel like it's like bundling up there. But once you get to the end, you just pull it out, straighten, and you straighten it out. You have to kind of like actually just make sure that you are doing that as well as you go along. So yeah, and then obviously my little my towel rags are coming off on the side, so that would be like a finishing part for me. And then the bottom part is pretty much like the final finale. Is pretty much up to you. I just like, it's like gift wrapping basically. I worked this part in a little bit, made that tight so that the rest of the board goes in, and then these are the same things. I cut them a little bit. I am pretty much, after this one, I will most likely redo the entire board, so start from scratch again, get an old towel, base it with an old towel, and then one of these, and then put it on as time needs. I'll put another one on, and so forth. But for this one, for a final touch, it's okay that I used a little bit more here, so it's thicker here. However, it doesn't really, I mean, you're concentrating on the top part, not on the bottom, and because I don't really fold it up that one can actually see this too many times, it doesn't really bother too much. And in any case, when you do hang your board or you put it away, you don't really focus on looking that, so you can kind of, if this is messy, it's alright. I mean, my previous one was, you can't really see it now, but it was like just bundled up in there, so it looked a little bit messy. But this one, same thing. Like, I would basically, if I wanted to make it like a little bit more neat, I would basically sew it in there, and then sew these ones together so that that's not obvious. But this is doing its job pretty fine. So yeah, that is how I redid my iron board, now for the third time. And I'll most likely do my brother's iron board the same way. I've already bought a few things for it. It's already got a towel on. I just need to cut it, take my mattress needle with me. That's actually, those things are coming with me to my next trip to them. So I'll see if I can upload a few photos befores and afters on theirs, because for them it's like, this would be their first layer that I would be doing for them. It only has the basic one, so when I was there over there ironing, I basically had to put a towel and then put it, but now the towel's like hanging all shaggy at the bottom, so obviously I'll have to go finish that up. In any case, I hope my little tutorial for this helped. It is the first time I'm making one of these, and yeah, well, tell me if you like it or not.